All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to guide you through sunrise stretch. We will practice together for 25 minutes. Just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretches are not working for you, please skip them, come on out and modify. And things that you may want to have today for your practice. It's always nice to have a yoga mat, a block and a blanket close by, just to gently support your practice. You don't have to have it. If you don't have it, no biggie. We'll just work around that a little bit today. So I was thinking today we could focus a little bit on the legs and the hips. And the great thing about working with legs and hip is you automatically release the low back, which is wonderful because I know that a lot of times people come to stretch class and, legs, hips are really tight, and that's normal if you find that you're sitting a lot through the day. Low back can be a bit tense, especially if you're sitting a lot throughout the day. So we will just gently release those areas, get circulation, blood flowing, and just release any tight muscles. So let's come on down into a tabletop position. And if your knees are sensitive at all, you can always pad your knees. You can do a little bit of support here. And we are just going to line our knees up in line with our hips. And we'll also take our wrists in line with our shoulders. And fan the fingers out nice and wide. So you want to press down through your index finger and your thumb. Let's start by taking our right knee into fire hydrant. So it's just off to the side here. And we are going to circle a little bit. So maybe find large circles and maybe find smaller circles. And let's begin to circle in the other direction. So we will just reverse that movement. And try to bring a bit more weight into your right hand. So we do want our weight to be even in the right hand and in the left hand. The right foot can take a gorilla kick to the right. So we will just flex our foot, press out through the heel and the back of the knee. Lower your foot down, engage your core to come on up. And we'll stand here for a moment. Let's take our hands up to the sky into prayer. And hands at heart as you exhale. So we'll just work into our shoulders a bit here. Hands reach up and stretch up. And release. Let's go 3 more times here. Good. As you relax your hands down, bring your right hand on your right hip, left hand up and over. Bring yourself into a side stretch. And try to roll your left shoulder back a little bit. We'll take our right shoulder under slightly and feel that the heart is shining up to the sky. Coming back onto the center, we'll windmill our hands down and we're going to land in the variation of side plank. So left hand down, right hand up. And as you take side plank, try to feel that your shoulders and your hips are stacking. So feel your shoulders in one line, feel your hips in one line. Staying here, lifting the leg if you would like. And there's also a variation where you can take your hand to meet the foot. So you can bring yourself into a little bit of a deeper quad stretch here. Nice hip flexor and psoas stretch. We are going to let that one go. So foot comes down, core engages as you rise. Let's bring our hands at the top of our space. Right foot to the left. And then maybe walk your hands off towards the left. Gaze off your left shoulder. And create this really nice C curve in your spine. And let's begin to gently reset. We will float ourselves back on through into tabletop. And circle the hips here a little bit. So we'll just create a little bit of an organic fluid movement. So just shifting the weight around. And as you're moving here, just knowing that there's no right, there's no wrong way to move, just moving at your own pace and moving in a pain-free range. Let's circle in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. And stillness. Let's do our little reset here. Back on through to tabletop. Left knee comes into fire hydrant. And let's find our circles here. Again, maybe press a bit more weight into your left hand. Circle in the other direction. We'll reverse that movement. Left foot kicks to the left. Let's take a gorilla kick here. And foot can come down. Core engages to rise up. Hands will sweep to the sky. Hands at your hearts, breathe out, and then circle in the opposite direction from here. So let's take our fingertips up to the sky and let your arms sweep out and around. Left hand onto your left hip, right hand up and over. Let's bring ourselves to that side stretch. And breathe so deeply here. Almost imagine that you could find a bit of space in between your ribs. Come on through. We'll do a little windmill of the arms down. Let's try out side plank. And breathing here. So again, feel your body stacking and opening. Shoulders in line, wrists in line. Staying where you're at, maybe lifting your leg up. Maybe bring your hand for the foot, take your bind. And release. You can float the foot down. Core engages as you rise on up. Hands at the top of your space. Let's float that left foot behind us. And let your left foot sweep to the right. Gaze off your right shoulder. Walk your hands to the right. And just give yourself a little bit more side stretch here. Nice C curve for the spine. And release. Let's bring ourselves back on through into table. And gently draw your hips down to your heels. So we'll work with a child's pose. So for this one, your knees can be together if you would like. And you're just going to gently fold down. So your knees are together. This will help to open up your low back. And you can also take your big toes to touch. Maybe knees away from one another. And then just simply letting yourself melt here as well. So child's pose. This is a wonderful stretch for releasing your low back, for releasing your hips. And it's also a very relaxing stretch. So anytime that our head is lower than our heart, it can be very, very soothing. So that's happening here. Now let's try a side stretch. Walk your hands to the right and try to ground into that left sitting bone. So we just don't want our left sitting bone to lift and rise up too much. Come back to center. Let's take our hands to the other side. And release. Let's bring ourselves back on through into child's pose. We are going to press ourselves up into a tabletop. Give yourself a deep breath here. And then as you exhale, let's come into a down dog. Toes will curl under, hips to the sky on your exhale. And shake it out a little bit here. Bend one knee, then the other knee. Relax your head, yes. Relax your head, no. As you come to stillness here, let's come on forward at the top of your space. You'll just walk your toes to your hands. And we are going to shake it out here as well. So bend one knee and the other knee. Relax your head, yes, and relax your head, no. So if the ground is feeling far away, you may want to bring your hands on the yoga blocks, Or you could also have a really deep bend in your knees that will also help to protect your low back and your hamstrings if they are tight. As you come to stillness here, let's walk our hands to the right. Encourage a side stretch. Try to reach and stretch from your left waist. Lengthen your side body, your arm, and your fingertips. Let's bring ourselves back onto the center. We'll take our hands to the other side. Reaching and stretching from the waist. Lengthen the side body, the arm, through the fingertips. Come back up through the center, back to a fold. Half lift here, lift your spine and lengthen your spine. Fold yourself down. Let's come on up. Take a full breath as you rise up. And hands at your heart as you exhale. Great. Let's try working a bit with our spine here. We'll bring our hands up to the sky. Fingers will interlock and release the index fingers. So this brings us into steeple. Take a full breath here to lengthen. Let's release to the right and the left. So we're just going to do a little wiggle here in the waist side to side. And pause, hands to the left on your exhale. Feel your right hip pressing to the right. And just breathe into that nice stretch through the whole outside of the right side of your body. We'll come back to center, lengthen here, and release to the other side. Try to ground evenly through both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Good. Let's bring ourselves back on through to center. We will take our hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's take our hands up towards the sky. We are going to draw our index and our thumb to touch, and exhale, let your hands relax down. Full breath in, let's rise. Hands reach up and stretch up. And release. Let's go with the breath here for a moment. Full breath in, rise. Full breath out, soften. And letting that one go. Let's take our right knee up into our chest and into our stomach. So we'll continue working with our legs a bit. If you need to use the wall, you can grab onto the wall. And if you are standing on the yoga mat, sometimes the yoga mat is a little bit squishy, and that's really nice because we have a little padding in other poses. But when we do balancing, it does make it more challenging. So you can always just step off the mat too, just step onto the firm ground. So fingers interlock, we'll reach for the front of our right knee, and we're gonna give ourselves this time to pull that knee up and into the chest and into the stomach. So find your drishti, find that one spot to focus your concentration and to focus your awareness. Let's begin to take our right knee to the right. We're gonna land in an inner leg stretch here. And left hand to the left, maybe gaze off your left shoulder. Maybe take your index and your thumb to touch, come into a bit of a mudra here. We'll reset ourselves back on through to center. Take your knee into your chest and into your stomach. And then let's take that right knee to the left. We'll bring ourselves into a bit of a twist here. And then right hand can move to the right. You can gaze off your right fingertips. And release. Let's put ourselves back to center. Take your knee to your chest. Let's release it down. Feet a bit wider than your hips. Arms side to side. Let's take it into empty coat sleeves. And release. Let's come back to stillness. We'll ground down into our feet. Left leg comes up and into the chest and into the stomach. So fingers will interlock, gentle support here. Feel really grounded through all the parts of your right foot. Press through the inside, through the outside. And notice your body's natural tendency, noticing if you tend to roll in or you tend to roll to the outside of your foot. Let's begin to take our left knee to the left. We're going to land in that inner leg stretch here. Right to the right. And in this one, I know it's challenging because we're balancing, but try to even off your hips. So what can happen is this left hip can lift up and shift up, and this right hip will drop down. So if you can, try to pull your right hip up a little bit and maybe drop your left hip down a tiny bit. Let's come back on through to center. We'll take our left knee to the right and right hand to the right, or left knee to the right, and then your left hand to the left, and you'll gaze off your left fingertips. And release. You can float that knee back on through to center. Maybe hug it into the chest one last time. Kick your feet a bit wider than your hips. Let's bring ourselves side to side, back on through to empty coat sleeves. So I always love this stretch, and it's great. And I think the name is so cute. So empty coat sleeves, I think it came from, you know, when little kids put their coats on and they don't put their arms in their sleeves, they just swing their fake arms side to side. So I love this one. I always do this through the day too. If I'm at the desk and I'm feeling a little fatigued, just kind of moves that circulation, gets the blood flowing. Good. Let's come on down to seated. We'll work a bit with our legs and hips there. So as we start here, let's bring our feet together. So we'll draw the soles of our feet to touch. Let your knees come away from one another and try to feel that the insides of your feet roll from one another as well. So we kind of open up our feet, almost like a book. We want to spread the soles of the feet open just a tad. We are going to hold this one for a moment. So one option is to press your knees away from one another. Another option is to walk your hands out in front of you and then just let yourself fold with your exhale. And maybe closing your eyes here. Try to relax the eyebrows. Try to relax your jaw. And try to let go of tension through the back of your head, through the back of your neck. Relax through the shoulders, the arms, the hands. And then relaxing through the upper, mid, and low back. And then relaxing through your legs and relaxing through your feet. Coming on up through the spine, we'll flow on up one vertebrae at a time. Let's take our legs together. We're going to send them out in front and we'll give them a bit of a shake out here. So we are going to make our way down onto our backs from here. And I would love to just demo a pose for you quickly. So I will just show you quickly how to come into it. And then I'll walk you through it nice and slow and we'll go through it step by step on the second time. So working with figure 4 stretch. And the nice thing about this one is you can stay right where you're at. Deepen your stretch, reach for the back of your leg, front of your leg, maybe both of your arms around both of your legs. And the second part of the stretch is we're going to hold that one for a little bit. The second part is you will take your right leg to a 90-degree angle, and then everything will drop off towards the right, and you are going to press down to your feet and your legs, lift your right hip up, and almost kind of scoot it under you a little bit. Have your right leg in a 90-degree angle. Have your left foot planted. And to make it deeper, you can press your knee away from you. And you can also take this knee that's on the ground and draw it up to your face. So let's try that one out together. We are going to start. Left leg will come up and over. Let's bring ourselves to figure 4. Stay where you're at. Maybe reach for the back of your leg. Reach for the front of your leg. Maybe both of your arms around both of your legs. And if you would like on this one, you can flex your foot or both of your feet. You can encourage your left knee away from your face. And that's just going to give you a little bit more stretch into your hip. It will also activate more muscles in the legs, so just keep those legs a bit more active and engaged. And this is a wonderful stretch for your back. So if you ever have sciatica or sciatic pain, this is the #1 stretch for that. It can really help to take pressure off the nerve. And this is also a fantastic stretch for your legs and your hips. Sometimes if you're taking a class and you're instructed to do pigeon, which is when you're facing the ground and folding over one of the legs, this would be a really nice modification because you can always modify every pose if a certain pose isn't working for you. This is much more accessible and it gives you a fantastic stretch. Let's take our right leg to that 90-degree angle. We will drop everything off to the right. Planting your left foot down, maybe take a peek, make sure that your right leg is in that 90-degree angle. We're going to press down into our left foot to try to lift our right hip up a little bit, scoot it under us slightly. And then you can decide where you want to take this pose. So maybe draw the knee that's on the ground, maybe draw that up towards your face. Maybe the knee that's in the air, you can press that knee away from your face. And you can try to plant your left foot down on the mat. So you'll just try to feel that whole foot grounded and planted down. Good. Let's unwrap this one. We're going to try a happy baby stretch. So you'll come down onto your back and reach for your feet, flex your feet, reach through your heels, little rock to the right and the left. And right leg comes up and over. We'll take figure 4 stretch here. And you'll just decide where you want to go with this one. So you can reach for the back of your leg. You'll reach for the front of your leg, maybe both of your arms, around both of your legs. Gentle reminder to flex your feet and activating the stretch a bit more. Right knee can press away from your face. And from here, let's try out the second part of the stretch. So we can take our left leg into that 90-degree angle. You are going to plant your right foot down on the mat. You are going to peek to make sure that your left leg is in a 90-degree angle. Try to have your right foot planted down, whole foot plants down. Press down to your feet. You can always lift that left hip up and you can scoot that hip under your body a little bit. And we are just going to feel that knee pressing away from our face for a moment. Good. Let's begin to release that one. We're going to land back on our backs. Reach for your feet. Take happy baby stretch. Little rock to the right and the left. Knees to the chest. Let's do a little rock and roll through the spine. We're going to come on up to seated. And as you come into seated, thank you so much for joining today. It's really good to be with you. Hope your legs and hips are feeling a bit better. I know mine are. I hope this set you up for a fantastic day today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.